I'm Ron Day from Heuvelton, and I joined the Navy, I guess, in '61 through the Navy Reserve here in Ogdensburg. I had 3 years and 3 months active duty. I was out for 16 years, went back in the reserves and put another 21 years in the Navy Reserve. I could go while I was still in high school. We went once a week while I was still in high school, and it was some money for me. I came off a little dairy farm, and there was a chance for an education there because I was sent to electronics technician communication school for a year. And then the next 2 years and 3 months, I was aboard the U.S.S. Thomas J. Geary out of Newport, Rhode Island. It was a World War II ship that was a destroyer escort. They were always referred to as the little boys. They were about 200 feet shorter than a destroyer, so they were real small, and they were expendable. They were to protect the other ships in the fleet, and like I said, expendable. Our final cruise was around the world. We were part of Operation Deep Freeze. We spent 5 months home ported out of Dunedin, New Zealand. And during that time, we hit rough seas. Well, there was a lot of rough seas, but the one time we hit rough seas, the fact of where we rolled so far over on our side that the big bed spring air search radar antenna broke completely off. I guess when I think about it, we were pretty lucky that she righted herself, that she even came back up again. Because there's an instrument on the wall that tells when it goes 90 degrees would be over laying on its side. And it pegged out at 70 degrees, so we don't know how far it really went over. But it did put a split about 15 feet long in the side of the ship. That all had to be shored up and packed with mattresses and stuff till we got back in port so that could be repaired and then we could get a new radar antenna and that be put on. The important part was that was all your communications. Everything went around the electronics part of all the equipment on there. So it was a good job. I had a good job, really. We did pickets off Cuba. We'd go sit for a month, anchor out for a month, and watch the planes come in and out of Cuba. Once one would start up our way, we'd call Boca Chica in Florida, and they'd scramble a jet, send it down, and escort them back to Cuba again. And then, of course, that last final cruise was Operation Deep Freeze, where we went to Antarctica, and we were a support ship down there for Antarctica. Our job was to, twice a day, the weather guys sent the weather balloons up, got the weather for the pilots going in and out of Antarctica. And we were there in case a ship went down, or rather a plane went down. We were a rescue platform for them, as if that would happen. Life expectancy was 1 minute in the water down there. So, fortunately, there were no pilots I ever knew went down. In the reserves, I stayed electronics technician for a while, but that rate was so full, everybody was in it, so I switched over to the Navy Sea Beast, which is a construction battalion, and I was teaching engine repair, so that's what I was, a construction mechanic, taking care of the engines and stuff, and just kept busy at it and worked my way up.
Why do you think it's important for people to hear these stories?
So that they understand what went on, what happens to people in the military. I guess it's probably pretty important for me because we've had 33 ship reunion and I've done the last 31. I planned the last 31 reunions. And it's not even, well, we had the same experiences on the ship, but I think it's just more important. These guys have become real good friends. A few of them were on the ship when I was there, but most of them weren't, and I've become very good friends with all of them. And our families always go, so it's a family thing.